Okay, Ross, it's been an intriguing few weeks, hasn't it? Some excellent performances away from home, but at home it's stuttered a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think for some reason or another, I think we've struggled a bit all season, to be honest, at home. I mean, we've had a few of the results that went our way. We had Kettering and Newport, which we did really well, but other than that, I think our performances haven't been quite as good for, like I said, some reason or another at home. They haven't been as good as away.
It's odd, isn't it? Because when you look at Wrexham and Lincoln away, they were fantastic performances, weren't they?
That's what I mean, yeah. I mean, we've had quite a few. I mean, you could name a load. We've had Stockport away, we've had Darlington away, like you said, Wrexham away, Lincoln away. All of them we've done really well. And then for some reason we just haven't been able to string a few results together at home. I mean, like we have won quite a few games at home, but we need a constant winning mentality really to get under our belts at home to pick up a few more points really.
Can you pinpoint to the reason why? I think that's probably the most difficult question at the moment, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think we've started quite slow in the home games that we haven't performed well in. I mean, when we played Kidderminster, and again the other day really, we haven't started that well, and we've conceded goals early on, which obviously doesn't bode well for the rest of the game. So if we can cut that out, I mean, I think we could go on and win a few more games at home really.
But we did get 3 points in the end against Alfreton. I think that showed a bit of team spirit in the final 15 minutes, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it was quite a tense game really. I mean, obviously we were 2-0 down and then they went 2 men down, which obviously helped us, but I think we piled on the pressure second half and then it just showed and we got the result that we needed, which at the end of the day is what you want. If we don't play well, if we get results, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, we could take 1-0 wins all season if we don't play well, and then we'd get promoted, wouldn't we? So
yeah, I mean, we talk about this, and yet you look at the league table, 3 points off the playoffs, a game in hand. It's a handy position, isn't it? It's been a strange one, this.
I mean, yeah, it's in some respects it's where you want to be. If we can stay in contention all the way through, and then just go in undetected in a way, it's some ways it's the better way to go. It's less pressure on ourselves. But yeah, I think we're in a good position. So like I said, the longer we can stay here or the higher we can get in the league is better for the club really.
A breakaway though from the league, it's the FA Cup on Saturday. What sort of FA Cup memories have you got?
None whatsoever. To be honest, when I was at Hensford and places like that, we had to go through quite a few qualifying rounds, which in some ways it's nice that we've only got to have one with Mansfield here. So it'd be nice to have a cup run. Like you said, it's good for the fans and the club itself just to get away from the league for a little bit and put our attentions elsewhere. So it would be nice, yeah, it'd be good.
I know from non-league, local non-league, even in the early rounds, the first qualifying rounds, there's always a certain buzz, isn't there? And there would have been at Hensford on FA Cup Day.
Yeah, there is, yeah. Like I said, I think it's a little bit different for the fans and everything. It's something else to look forward to, and there's always that you can get the bigger clubs in the rounds ahead if you get through, so that's always a nice incentive for everybody really. Can
you understand it when you see some of the bigger clubs put out a weakened side for these cup competitions? It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I think for the really big clubs it's a different kettle of fish though, isn't it really? I mean, the teams like in the Premiership and stuff like that, they've got other things to worry about, but in terms of us it's everything. It's if you get the chance to play teams like Man United and Liverpool and Arsenal and people like that, it's obviously going to be an unbelievable competition for us really.
Fleetwood at home, it couldn't have been a bit more difficult really, could it, if we tried?
We did say that, yeah. I mean, the most difficult ones we could have had like Fleetwood, Luton and people like that, but they're all going to be difficult really. I mean, they'll look at it the other way and think, oh, we've got Mansfield Town, so it's on the other foot. They've got a difficult game in themselves, so if we can progress, I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? And then we'll come up against teams that are in the higher divisions than us, so I think we'll take it in our stride and just play the game as it is.
FA Cup weekend, these are special, aren't they?
Yeah, the magic of the FA Cup. Yeah, it's a break away from the league. It's something else for us to focus on. It'd be a good test against Fleetwood. You know, they've got a decent squad of players, spent a bit of money, so yeah, in a way we've nothing to lose. We can go out and try and earn a first round tie proper against maybe a league club.
And give someone a spanking at home for once.
Yeah, they've been obviously, you know, last few home games have not been ideal performances, you know, but we're all aware of that. But you know, that's football. You know, you get that at some parts during the season. You have to come through those sticky patches, and hopefully that's what we can do. So yeah, we're all looking forward to the FA Cup. It's going to be a tough game. Fleetwood are up there at the top, high flying at the top of the league. So it'll be good for us to test ourselves. We've not played them yet this season, so it gives a good indication of where we're at.
What about you personally for the FA Cup? Is it a competition you've grown to love, or have you had some bad times in it?
I've had quite a few first round exits, but I've had one or two decent runs. I've got to the third round a couple of times and played some Premier League teams. So yeah, it's nice. There's a different feel about it. Everyone wants to progress, and you get through a couple of rounds, and it brings a bit of money in for the club, and you get to test yourself against some higher league players, and you get to the third round, and who knows? But obviously we're in the conference and we're in the final qualifying round. We want to make sure we're in that half of the first round proper.
Because you can use the FA Cup, can't you? You can use it as a run, and it can spur you on in the league a little bit, I suppose, as well.
That's right, yeah. If you can go on a good little cup run, it can lift spirits, build a bit of momentum, and hopefully we can carry that on into the league. So it's a breakaway from the league, but the FA Cup, everyone wants to do well, and we'll be doing everything we can to try and win the game.
You mentioned about getting through to the third round and playing Premier League teams. What are your memories? What are your best memories of the FA Cup? What's your biggest game?
I think when I was at Notts County, I think we got to the third round and played Middlesbrough at home. I think I managed to grab Ray Parler's shirt that day, but I think we didn't progress that day. But there was a full house at Notts County, and they're the sort of ties you want. If you can get through a couple of rounds, it's like I was saying previously, it's good income for the club, but also it's a great day out personally as well, testing yourself against Premier League players or higher league players.
Okay then, Paul, so there we go. FA Cup weekend again, a competition that I think you've grown to love in the past.
Yeah, I've had a decent history with FA Cup, as a manager. So, but yeah, it's going to be a really tough game. But we want to win at home. We want to progress in it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one.
How important in the grand scheme of things is it that you try and do at Eastwood and get to the third round of this competition?
Well, it's really important. It's a football match at the end of the day. We want to win every football match we're going to. I know one or two have mentioned what sort of competition you're taking seriously. I like to take them all seriously, and we want to be successful in every game that we play in. So, but we're at home. We want to sort of play well, and we want to get a good win at home.
How about team-wise? How are you looking for Saturday? You've got a few players that are out. Yeah,
we've got one or two injuries. I say I only had 17 fit players last week. But we've got Joe Kendrick that's struggling. I think Matty Bell picked up a knock on Tuesday. Good news is we could have Ben Futcher back. But yeah, we've got a team that we're just overrun with injuries at the minute. But we'll have enough to put out an half decent side, and like I say, it won't be through injuries. It won't be any excuses because of injuries if we win, lose or draw the game.
You had 4 trialists available and playing in the midweek friendly. Is there going to be any progress on any of those?
Well, Leon Osborne's doing well with us. He did very well on Tuesday again, but obviously we can't sign him till Christmas time. He's shown a lot of promise, but the others, we're moving on from. It was a really competitive game. There's a lot of good performances from the lads that are coming back from injuries, but the lads that came on trial just weren't strong enough.
Is it a case of, if you're having to expand your squad a little bit, you're having to juggle the pot of money a little bit more?
Well, I freed some money up. It's been, we're nearly a month down the line now. We've freed quite a bit of money up. Collett's gone to Nuneaton, Mitchell's gone to Nuneaton, Stevenson's gone to Alfreton, and Smithy's gone to Aldershot. So there's a bit of money to play with there. But obviously, I need to sit down with the chairman. Because I think we're in a nice position. I think we've got off to a half decent start. We're 6 points off top spot if we win a game in hand, and 4 points off second place. If we win a game in hand, so we're nicely tucked in there. But we do need strengthening. We're coming into I think the nitty gritty, the part of the season that coming into the Christmas period where it'll show just how strong we are, and for that we're going to need extra bodies to cover for injuries, lack of form, suspensions, etc. So it definitely needs doing, but I'm sure the chairman will be proactive in supporting them.
Injury wise, what's Joe Kendrick and Matt Boss?
He's back. So we've got Joe missing, we've got Nails missing, Briscoe's missing.
Is Joe definitely out?
Joe's fitness test tomorrow, but just talking to him now.
Yeah.
He's walking around like he's been odd carried all night.
What did Belly do midweek?
Jason just told me he's got a bit of a sore knee, so Naylor's hamstring, Briscoe's groin.
Nell's definitely out, isn't he?
Pardon?
Nell's definitely out.
Nell's definitely out, yeah.
Briscoe's not really proved.
No, Briscoe's scan comes through from his scan. They actually feel as though a little bit of his abductors come away from the bone. So Briscoe could be a while. So I've been around loads of games at the minute, especially like the pro reserve games, looking at positional of what needs strengthening. If you look at it, we need a left back, central midfield. I mean, central midfield will be quite strong, but I think we need to bring a fresh face in the front. And on either flank. So, there's a lot. I mean, I would like to strengthen by adding at least another 3, maybe 4 to the squad. But the 3 or 4 that have got to come in have got to have real quality about them, and they've got to be, as I call it, they've got to be sort of like first choice players. It's waste time bringing in people, that are, like some of the kids from the league clubs that aren't ready yet for this level, and they're finding themselves out, and we're sort of like taking that on board, if you get me, and they're learning why they're playing with us. I mean, we want to be in that little pack chasing promotion in the season. For that, we need players that are going to get the grips with this tough old league that we're in. Because I've seen many a time I've seen it where people take someone on loan just for the sake of it, and they get bashed about, and I think they underestimate the level of football that this is, and physically and mentally a lot of the kids aren't ready. So.